It took me more than 50 years to understand what I'm about to tell you in the next 10 minutes. And if you're anything like I was, you probably won't fully believe me at first. I wouldn't have. Not when I was young. Not when I was certain that the world belonged to those who moved fast, worked late, and never looked back.
When you're young, time feels infinite. You wake up with urgency, with hunger. You want to build something that proves you were here. You want the job title, the recognition, the security. You want to look in the mirror and see someone important staring back. I chased that feeling for decades. I thought importance and happiness were the same thing. I thought success would quiet the restlessness inside me. It doesn't. Success is loud. It claps for you. It hands you certificates. It puts your name on doors and plaques. And for a moment, sometimes, for years, it convinces you that you've made it. I remember the first time I sat behind a big wooden desk in an office with a skyline view. I remember holding an award in my hands while co-workers applauded. I remember standing in front of my first house, keys in my hand, feeling like I had unlocked the meaning of life itself. But here's what I didn't notice. Every achievement demanded a trade. More hours, more stress, more missed dinners, more, "I'll make it up to you later." I told myself I was doing it for my family, and in many ways, I was. But I confused providing with being present. I confused money with meaning. There's a photograph I keep, my children sitting around a birthday cake. There's an empty chair in that picture, mine. I was at work that night, closing something that felt urgent at the time. I can't even remember what it was now. That's the cruel thing about urgency. It screams at you in the moment and disappears years later without a trace. But the moments you miss, they don't disappear. They echo. For a long time, I believed peace was something you earned after enough accomplishment. As if life were a mountain, and at the top, you'd finally find rest. But ambition is a treadmill. The faster you run, the faster it moves. Promotions lead to bigger responsibilities. Bigger responsibilities lead to bigger pressure. And you tell yourself, just a few more years, then I'll slow down. I said that for 30 years. What no one tells you is that relationships don't wait at the finish line. Children grow up while you're in meetings. Parents grow older while you're chasing milestones. Friends stop calling after enough maybe next time. And one day you look up from your work and realize the room is quieter than it used to be. I remember the day the house felt different, quieter. My children were grown. My wife, the woman who stood beside me through every late night and ambitious leap, had grown used to eating dinner without me. We loved each other. We truly did. But love, like anything alive, needs time. It needs attention. It needs presence. And presence was the one thing I kept postponing. Regret is a peculiar companion. It doesn't raise its voice or demand attention. It simply settles next to you in the quiet. You notice it when the phone rings less often, when the applause grows distant, when the promotions stop and the titles stay the same. It gently brings forward the questions you spent years avoiding. Was it worth it? What did you truly gain? Who did you ultimately become? I once believed regret was a sign of weakness. Now I understand it differently. It isn't weakness. It's clarity that arrived later than I expected. What took me 50 years to grasp is this. Happiness isn't waiting at the summit. It lives in the small steps you overlook on the way up. It's sitting at the breakfast table without reaching for your phone. It's an evening walk with someone you care about, with nowhere else you need to be. It's listening with your whole attention instead of preparing your reply. Peace is subtle. That's why driven people often miss it. It doesn't compete for your focus. It doesn't demand recognition. It lingers quietly in ordinary moments. And when you're constantly chasing something bigger, louder, or more impressive, you pass it by without noticing. Another lesson I learned, far later than I should have, is that your identity cannot rest entirely on what you accomplish. Achievements fade, careers conclude, companies move on. The world keeps turning faster than you imagine. If your worth depends only on what you produce, what remains when you slow down? Who are you when the output stops? That question used to frighten me deeply. I had spent decades becoming the successful one, the provider, the achiever, the reliable one. But I hadn't spent enough time becoming simply myself. The man who enjoys quiet mornings, the man who likes long walks, the man who feels most alive during honest conversations instead of negotiations. We think we have time to reconnect later, time to repair later, time to say the important words later. But later is not guaranteed. I've stood at funerals of friends who were younger than me, men who also believed they had more time. We used to laugh loudly around dinner tables, promising we'd travel together one day. One day, quietly turned into never. If you are young and listening to me, I'm not telling you not to dream. Dream boldly, work hard, build beautiful things, but don't trade your entire life for applause. Don't sacrifice every present moment for a future that hasn't arrived. Success is a tool, not a destination. Use it, don't worship it. If you are older and listening to me, understand this. It is not too late. Regret can either harden you or soften you. It can make you bitter about what you missed or grateful for what still remains. I chose, slowly, imperfectly, to let it soften me. These days, my mornings are slower. I sit at the kitchen table with sunlight coming through the window. Sometimes I just watch the light move across the floor. It sounds simple. It is simple. And yet it took me half a century to appreciate it. I take more walks now, especially at dusk. There's something about the way the light fades that reminds you everything is temporary and therefore precious. The leaves fall whether you're watching or not. The seasons change whether you're ready or not. Life moves forward. The only real choice you have is whether you're present for it. The greatest lesson I learned is this: the people in your life are not distractions from your goals. They are the point. The laughter around your table matters more than the name on your office door. The conversations matter more than the contracts. The time you give matters more than the money you earn. One day, you will not remember most of your workdays. They will blur together, but you will remember how someone made you feel. You will remember the evenings you showed up. You will remember the warmth of being fully there. It took me over 50 years to understand that peace is not found in proving yourself to the world. It's found in accepting yourself and choosing what truly matters before time chooses for you. So, if I can give you in 10 minutes what cost me half a lifetime, it's this: slow down just enough to notice your life while you're living it. Call the person you've been meaning to call. Sit at the table a little longer. Forgive yourself for not knowing sooner, and measure your success not by how impressive your life looks from the outside, but by how meaningful it feels on the inside. You still have time. That's the gift. Use it wisely, not just to build a living, but to build a life. And if you remember nothing else from these 10 minutes, remember this: the moments you think are small are the ones that matter most. Don't wait 50 years to realize it.